Hey there. I always love looking around YouTube and finding new cool channels. And I just found another cool one. So I've got to respond to this list because it's one that's really unique and it was done differently than I expected when I hit on the list, which was what I found really cool, and I like the way that she described the stuff. It's Miss Poppy 90, top 10 favorite horror characters. So she had a couple female characters on the list, but really most of them were male, and I can kind of see that. But I wanted to just kind of challenge myself and see if I could get like try to get a top 10 just female horror characters. And I'm going in. I have a few that I know. I'm going to see if I can find it. I wanted to see if I could do it without doing a massive amount of research first and saying, okay, well, this is a character, this is a character. I want to see who actually pops into my mind and as strong female characters in horror films. I'm trying, if I can, to stay away from certain obvious ones. But crib at least one from her list, which I think was really cool to be put on there, and I'm glad it was on there. And so number 10 is Sarah from Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead is my favorite in the in all of the George Romero Dead movies, and I find Sarah to be like the strongest of the female characters that have been in the film so far. In the original Night of the Living Dead, female characters weren't exactly the strongest, but Sarah's a kick-ass character. She's ahead of her time in a lot of ways. So she's kind of like, in a way, she's kind of the blueprint for some of the other characters that we'll get later on. Next up, and it is Karen Black's character from the last story in Trilogy of Terror with the Zuni doll. Now, the strongest character, actually, Karen Black's characters in Trilogy of Terror, tied with Lizette Anthony's characters in Trilogy of Terror 2. There you find some very cool horror characters. They both play three different roles, three uniquely different roles. Lizette Anthony probably did more of a range, but I love Karen Black, and I love what she did in Trilogy of Terror. It's a classic, but when you rewatch them nowadays, it's not as easy to watch it and see, okay, this is a good movie. But Trilogy of Terror is not. I watched with some friends recently, and they were not impressed. I told them how scary it was going to be. I told them it's a TV movie though, it was going to be kind of tame. So number 9, Lizette Anthony and Karen Black from the Trilogy of Terror films, Trilogy of Terror and Trilogy of Terror 2. Next up, I'm going to leave that one to last. Oh, this one I had to actually find her name. So I'm going to go with, right now, Alice from Resident Evil. Mila Jovovich was character of Alice. Of course, was the main character in the movie, though not in the games. People would have to wait till later on until we saw the main character of the games come into the films. And you know what? You still wanted Alice. Alice was a cool character. She was definitely a very kick-ass character. And pretty much, good or bad movie-wise, those films have been carried on the shoulders of Mila Jovovich, and that's pretty much a given. So it's number 8. Oh, this is going to be harder than I thought. Number 7, Angela Baker from the Sleepaway Camp series. I love Felissa Rose's Angela Baker in the first one. The silent, kind of quiet, you don't exactly know what's going on behind her eyes type of character, and she did an amazing job in the first film. Now, I also loved the Pamela Springsteen's comedic take on the Angela Baker character in parts 2 and 3, especially part 2. Part 2 is my favorite in the Sleepaway Camp films. It's just corny and cheesy and fun, and there's a hell of a lot of stuff in there. But Angela Baker is definitely one of the strong characters that I choose for the next, which is number 7. Number 6, Annie from the Halloween remake. I did not like their remakes that much. I was not a huge fan of the Rob Zombie films, but I do like Danielle Harris And scratch that. You know what? Let's not give her up. I mean, a credit all. We're going to take Danielle Harris, but we're not going to take her from this Halloween remake. We're going to take Danielle Harris's character of Jamie Lloyd, a much stronger character in parts 4 and 5 of. We got a little girl that pretty much has to take on the entirety of the film. She goes from like just an average little girl. She's got a psychotic. There's some really, really cool stuff that happens with the Jamie Lloyd character in Halloween's 4 and 5. So yeah, I'm actually good at that. I'm glad I thought of Danielle Harris because that's a much better choice. Jamie Lloyd character unfortunately was killed off in the 6th movie, and they didn't want to pay Danielle Harris a decent price, so another actor had to come in and play the role, and she wasn't even really aware of what had gone on before, so you know it's not her fault. But Jamie Lloyd is number 6. Number 5. I'm trying to stick away from the. I know what my number 1 character is going to be. Okay, I'm going to have to put in a couple of the ones that I didn't want to put in originally. But number 5, we're going to have her mom, Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode is like pretty much epitomizes like the cool final girl, and I wanted to get her in there. And originally, I was trying not to. Number 4, because everybody knows who Laurie Strode is. We don't really talk about that one that much. And yes, it is the Jamie Lee Curtis version I'm talking about. Nothing against Scout, but I really just did not like those films. Number 4, Olivia Hussey's character from Black Christmas. Actually, no, Margot Kidder's character from Black Christmas. The foul-mouthed, drinking, fellatio, joking character in Black Christmas. She definitely made the movie for me. Black Christmas, the 1974 version, is one of my favorite horror films of all time. I love Bob Clark's directing in that one. The cinematography is fantastic. Olivia Hussey's character is beautiful and someone that you want to save. Yeah, but Margot Kidder stands apart. I mean, she really, really makes the film. And any scene that she's remotely in, she steals. And a lot of love her for that. Thank you, Margot Kidder. So she is a strong top 4 character, top 5 character, and she's number 4 on my list. Number 3. Who is number 3? Number 3 is actually somebody that I did want to put on the list, but I couldn't remember the name of. So let's find out the name. Okay. And number 3 is Sarah. Another Sarah on my list from The Descent. The Descent is pretty much an almost all-female horror film, and a really well-done one. I was really surprised. I went in to see The Descent. I didn't know what I was going to get exactly, and I did not know. I didn't know anything, but there's a strong female cast. It's mostly, but I just went in to see a decent horror movie, and I definitely got it. So that's why number 3 is The Descent. Sarah. And number 2, oh God, I can't remember her name. Don't you hate when that happens? This is what happens when you do a list without actually writing it up, and you're trying to do a list off the top of your head. Try and challenge yourself to make it just a little bit more fresh. From Nightmare Man, Tiffany Shepis. Her character kicked ass all through that movie, and she went through hell. Tiffany Shepis' character in Nightmare Man was awesome. I like Tiffany Shepis. I find her a really cool indie horror actress, and she's definitely up there with the ones that she's, aside from being cute, I find her really, really good in the roles that she does, and she's believable. She usually plays stronger characters, and she has a sense of humor to what she does, and this character epitomizes all of that, and she goes through a night of hell. That's my number 2 character, is Tiffany Shepis from Nightmare Man. notice I'm trying to stay away from a lot of the big, high name stuff. I'm not putting in Ripley or any of those guys. So just in case you're wondering, no, number one's got to be Ripley, right? No, no, that's science fiction horror, and yes, the first one is horror, but I'm not going to include it. Everybody and their daughter would say Ripley, and Laurie, and all those other characters. But my number one, my favorite, for now anyway, these lists change a lot all the time, and I may revise lists down the road, which actually can study it up and stuff like that, but off the top of my head, my number one favorite top 10 female character in a horror movie is Marie from High Tension. Marie, I don't want to give this away. I hope to God you've already seen High Tension. But if you haven't, know that Marie is the top character. And stop right here, right now, because it's going to go spoilers. So, spoiler alert. Last chance. You can stop now. No, you haven't seen High Tension? Stop. Go watch it. Come back. It's 11, 14, 15. Go. And then watch the rest of the video. Yeah, do that. Okay, Marie's character is the High Tension is a film about two girls going back to one of the girls' family farm to basically I think do some studying and stuff. And one of the girls there, Marie, is obviously, but I believe it's the other one, seems to be infatuated or in love with her female friend. It's kind of hinted at. Marie's kind of a fun character. She's got tomboyish hair. She's kind of like, she's very cool. I find her very attractive. That's me. She's played by Cecily DeFrance, and I'm not sure if you know the actress or not, but if you do, I found her very attractive. Okay. Her character's the protagonist. There's a killer, a huge monster of a man killer that pretty much wipes out the entire family in the farm in the first, 20 minutes of the film, and then he grabs Marie's friend, who she had been hoping would become her girlfriend, and because the girl had picked bad guy relationships all throughout the movie, apparently. We hear about it on the drive, and she gets into the car and gets in the back of his truck and follows and basically hides away to save her friend. And it's a cat and mouse game between her and the killer as she tries to get her friend free and to safety before he kills her too, like he's killed and raped other women, which we see at the beginning of the film, sort of. Now remember, all this is done through Marie's perspective. You have to know that to understand the twist to the ending of this film, which I'm going to give away, so spoiler. Spoiler, 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 spoiler. There is no man. It's a split alternate personality that she has created to save and become the hero for this girl. Although she sees somebody else killing all those other people, although she sees somebody else doing all this, she is pretty much, she creates a character that creates incidents that she hopes will make her the hero to the girl. Unfortunately, the character that she sees, the one that she becomes, it's still her. She's not changed, doesn't have a mask on. It's just that's what she sees in her head. And for her own twisted reason, she sees that she thinks that the girl's going to see it too and fall in love with her, and that's the way it seems to me anyway. If you've got a different interpretation, you can let me know. But that's my top 10 list. Anyway, I'm running out of time here. Miss Poppy Nunny, that's the name. She's got a great channel. You might want to check it out. And again, thanks guys for watching. And got to do a video response down the road to one of TJ's that I saw. That's really interesting. He caught on some great rants. But for me right now, as you can hear, my voice is really going. It literally is time for tea.